Hari Om. Start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhattvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Namadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are discussing the how to succeed in life, and we said success depends upon individual and how he sets a goal to define what is success. In principle, anything that you achieve that you want and you achieve it, you are successful. And even a small child is successful when he gets what he wants. And of course, only problem is you want something else higher. Just like a child, after you got, then you want to ask for something more. Same way, everyone aims for something and he is not satisfied with what he got. He wants more. So the wanting mind or a desiring mind always remains whatever he gains. And this becomes a fundamental human problem. Human problem is, I want it for my security, I want wealth for my security, but once I have wealth, then I am worried about the security of the wealth, because other people want the same wealth. That's one aspect. The second aspect is that security that the wealth can provide is not sufficient. I need something else. So the longing mind will keep on asking some more, because even the wealth-wise, there is no limit for it. If I have million, I want billion, I want billion, I want trillion, and so on. And the Taittiriya Upanishad recognizes, and therefore it gives you the scale of Ananda, happiness, one human being of one unit of Ananda, where a person who owns the whole universe, the whole world, is the king of the whole world, Sarvabhauma, and also young enough to digest whatever he eats. Because if you have everything but you cannot even eat, what good is that? Because people buy mansions looking at the sea and all that, but he is not there because he has to go and make some more millions in order to satisfy himself. Somebody else will enjoy that food and that scenery and all that. So the problem is, whatever I have is not sufficient and I want more. And people think that I am is what I have. The more I have, more I am. So therefore, I want to reach as big as I can by gaining this, gaining that, and so on and so forth, but never satisfied in what I have. And only way to satisfy myself is I get everything. Means whole universe. There is nothing more left. Therefore I have everything. And everything, if I have, means the whole universe means aham, I have, is essentially the whole universe. Brahman is infinite. So infiniteness of the whole universe, I have it, because space itself is infinite, and everything in the space is I have now. So there is no more longing mind or a desiring mind, because since I have everything. But the problem is, I cannot get infinite by any effort. A finite plus finite plus finite is only finite, and that's what a realization that by adding finites through any action, I can never reach the infinite, limitless, and That's what an intelligent person is, or a viveka start developing, where pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayan nasya krutena. By krutena akrutam, that which cannot be gained by any actions. I cannot get this through actions, therefore I have to look for something else, and therefore the scripture says tad vijnanartam sagurumeva abhigatse. That's what discussed. You have got to go to a teacher to find out what it is. That's one aspect of human problem. Because I want security, and I'm looking for security in the world, but the world itself is everything except security. Because it gives you, it is perceptibility, it has a utility, it's a transactability, all abilities are there. What is not there is stability. Why? Because the world keeps changing, continuously changing. So what I thought I have is, it changed completely. And that's one problem. Therefore, changing things cannot be stable enough for me to give me the security. That's one problem. Second problem I said is, I cannot get infinity by any effort. And there is a fundamental problem, that's called third problem, which is called fundamental human problem. In fact, fundamental all living problem. What's that problem? Problem is, I do not know myself. So how can that be possible? Everybody knows themselves. You go and ask anybody, do you know yourself? Of course I know. There is no course to teach you know yourself. Because everybody has already an opinion about themselves. And if you want to find out, ask them who you are. They will tell you, I am, they start, I am this. So, the very statement involves, I am this. And this is nothing but your whole biodata. So, the greater the person, the biodata runs into pages and pages. That's what you ask for in resume. Sir, please tell me who you are. You give a whole resume, and so how great you are, you define in terms of your properties. I am this, I am educated, from the point of physical personality, from the point of emotional personality, or from the point of intellectual personality. You define, I am this. So any this is itself shows that I do not know myself. Why? I say everybody knows themselves, but when everybody knows themselves, they define I am as this. So here is the problem. Where is the problem? I am equal to this. That's the fundamental human problem. Why is a human problem? Because I cannot be this. And why am I saying I am this? Because I don't know myself. I am saying I am this. This can be my biodata. Then who am I? That's why you need to know who you are. Because I am equal to this is a problem, because I am a subject and this is an object. So very statement that I am this shows that you are ignorant about yourself. For transactional purposes, you can say that I am this. But for understanding purpose, you should know who you are. So therefore, I should know who I am, and then I can say, yes, I am. For transactional purposes, I am this body, mind, intellect, and I am limited, I am emotionally related to so and so, I am intellectually, I am an engineer, doctor, and so on, and I am 5 feet tall or 6 feet tall, and all that physical attributes or the emotional attributes or the intellectual attributes I can give. That doesn't belong to me, it belongs to this. And this is called, Krishna calls it as a kshetram. Kshetram means field. and I am a knower of the field, kshetrajnaha. So I know this. Otherwise, I won't. If I don't know this, then I can't say anything. So I am this involves knowing that this is an object that I know. So starting with I am this body. So dehe pushte aham pushta. Say when the body is fat, I am fat. When the body is lean, I am lean. When the body is tall, I am tall. When the body is white, I am white. When the body is black, I am black. So attributes of the body, in fact attributes of the skin only. Inside the skin everybody is the same color. The attributes of the skin or attributes of the body is given as my attributes. I am. Because I am is a subject, and anything that is attributive is an object, and that I am a subject is equated to object. That's a fundamental human problem. So to precisely to put it mathematically, I am equal to this. That's a problem. This keeps changing depending upon whether in the same life from a childhood as I go up, this keeps on changing. That means my body is changing, my emotional values are changing, my intellectual capacities are changing, all that my relationships are changing. I am husband of or son of or daughter of, all of some relationships. I am an engineer or a doctor, I am a retired, all those with reference to professional qualifications. All this continuously, because this belongs to the world. And the world is called Jagat. The word Jagat itself means Jayate Gacchate iti Jagat. That keeps changing. And I am identifying myself as this. And in the very identification, that's all ego, ahankara is nothing but I am this, and you know who I am this, I am son of this, son of that, related to this, I am brother-in-law, great minister or something. This is, we throw out all those relationships in order to get things done, of course. So I am, this is the human across the board, because I do not know myself. So the problem is I don't know myself. Since when? This is called ignorance of myself. Since when you do not know? Since when every time I identify myself, I am this, that means I don't know. And according to Vedanta, this is known from the beginning, you don't know. This is called avidya. Avidya means the ignorance. Ignorance is always a beginningless, and this is a fundamental ignorance. It's not ignorance of chemistry or physics or biology, but ignorance of your own self. I have a wrong understanding of my own self, and because of the ignorance of myself, I am taking myself what I am not as I am. So what has that to do with the title, How to Succeed in Life? That becomes the ultimate success, to know myself, because any other things is only I am trying to solve a problem where the problem cannot be solved properly. And that's why the how to success now depends upon knowing myself becomes a very successful pursuit in life, because that's a fundamental pursuit. Once you have that, then you can do any other pursuit, because there won't be any other pursuit, but this is the fundamental pursuit of life itself. And how to succeed is coming back, is knowing yourself becomes the goal of life itself. And why? Because I have a fundamental ignorance called Mula Avidya. Mula means basic, Mula means the root, and the root avidya means root ignorance. Why it's called root? Because of not knowing myself, I take what not myself as myself. This is the second problem. First, I don't know myself. Second is I take which is not myself as myself. So that is the second problem. And the third problem is, along with taking what not non-self as a self, I superimpose on myself the properties of not self on myself. I don't know if I'm not trying to complicate the issue. It says, when I say I am this, the limitations of this have become my limitations. So I am this body when I say. So when I say I am this body, then the limitations of the body have become my limitations. This body can do only certain things because it's limited. It's only 5 feet tall, and depending upon the age of the body, as it deteriorates, because it is a born, so whatever is born has to undergo 6 modifications according to Vedanta. That is Jayati, Vardhati, Viparinamate, Vipachiyate and Vinasyati. There are 6 stages of evolution: being born, growing, and becoming young, and then old, then with diseases, and ultimately die. Those are the 6 modifications because I am born. You may take medicines and all that extent, but you have not seen people who, your great-grandfather may be there, great-grandfather may not be there, great-great-grandfather may not be there, because they were there at one time. Because you are there, therefore they are there. That's a proof. But there is a time where you will not be here also. That's how Krishna starts with the Gita message. Gadasuna gadasuncha nanu sochanti panditaha. You panditaha, the people don't cry for those people who are gone, because they are gone. And also for those people who are going, because nobody is going to be here permanently. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrutyuhu dhruvanjanma mrutasya cha. So whatever is born has to die, and whatever dies has to come back again, because the law of conservation applies even to matter also. So we have a very small grandchild at that time. She was only 2 years old. She asked, we say, what happens when people died? Said they go to God. So when people are born, how did people are born? So God is sending babies here. Then she thought about it and says, God is only recycling things, because she said the old people are going, they are dying, and then sends them back as a babies again. So because she heard about recycling and the TV, so therefore, so she figured it out that the law of karma has to apply. She may not know law of karma, but at least she understood recycling. But this is essentially, Krishna says, why are you crying? Because whatever is born has to die. It's inevitable. So what is the point in crying about it? Every time this is in Telugu, there is a saying, every time I sneeze, if my nose is going to fall down, then there is not much of crying about it. Keep putting back as much as I can. So same way, this problem continues because this is not knowing myself. I take not myself as myself, and along with it I take the limitations of non-self, that is this limitations of this as my limitations, and those limitations are essentially or fundamentally desa kala vastu parichinnam. It's called 3 limitations, fundamental limitations. Desam space wise, kala time wise, and vastu object wise. They are limited. So this space wise, I am here and I am not there. I wish I am there also, but I am not there. So I can only be at one place. So for work done, to be successful, I want to be here, but at the same time I want to be there. I cannot there. I have to send somebody else. This is because I am limited by space. I am limited by time. I have only 24 hours per day, 7 days a week only. So therefore, also I am limited in time wise. Only if so many years I can live, afterwards I am not really there. So trying to accumulate so much that I am not going to be there, it's meaningless. I need something. I had to be enough so that I don't have to worry about it. But at the same time, I am accumulating so that generations depend on that, but I won't be there. So the generation, they will fight back and among themselves. So one has to be careful. I don't really own anything. Because I just came into this world with nothing, not even dress also, and crying. Fortunately, mother is there, mother's milk was there to feed me, and everything in the universe was there provided, like a 10-star hotel where everything is provided, towels, soap, everything is provided. But when I quit, I cannot take anything with me. I have to leave everything. The other people are waiting to make sure you don't take it also. So this is in fact a sloka in the Mahabhagavatam. In Telugu there is at least. Sitting Minutagattukoni povire, Poganaune, Ponitture. So Dharmaraja was crying for people who says, why are you crying? Are there not people before? The kings were there before. What happened to them? They earned so much, their wealth and all that, conquering everybody and punishing everybody. But what happened to them? They died. They didn't take a penny also. Alexander apparently put his head, empty head showing when he was dying, so that I'm not taking anything with me. I tried to conquer the whole universe and I'm leaving everything because I cannot take anything with me. I don't know whether he was a knowledgeable person or not, but that's what people say. So therefore, nothing I can own it in this universe. I can be a trustee of something, operate it in such a way and hand it over to the Lord. Sir, I took care of it, you gave me this, you gave me a family, you gave me a wife, you gave me a husband, you gave me children, whatever, and the property to take care, and give me a food, you gave me everything else, including water to drink also. Thank you. And you gave me this body also to operate in the world. I had to leave this body also. Margaya, right? Margaya means he dead and gone. He's gone somewhere else to find another body. So nobody dies. It means he only left the body. He is gone. That's why this the Krishna starts with the highest philosophy. Why are you crying? He is only leaving the body here and going for a better body, hopefully. Therefore, the limitations of the body became my limitations, and I'm trying to solve a problem where there is no real problem to solve. This is the human problem. What is the problem? The problem is taking the body, mind and intellect, BMI, and as I am, and limitations of the body, mind, intellect as my limitations. And I don't like limitations because in principle I am pure Satchidananda. That's what scripture says. And therefore I try to make it infinite because I don't like the finiteness of the body, mind, intellect. So I am only this. That's what ego is, right? And therefore I am not that. When I say I am this, by inclusion of this as I am automatically excluding that which I am not. And I don't like it because that is different from this. I want that also to be included in this. That's why I am going after that to make it as a part of mine. That's called mamakara. Grabbing things only because I want to expand myself, the kingdom I have to expand to include all that which is not mine as mine. It's called essentially greediness, right? And I can, in the process, I want to become infinite by adding finite things, which is insoluble problem, mathematically insoluble. But I cannot stop this also. Unfortunately, whole life is spending trying to gather this only, complaining that no, I could not get because other fellow is coming in between and illegally is coming. All these complaints and everything is because of I want that and I want that and he's not giving me that. People are not meeting my expectations in giving me this. This is my problem. Why? Because I want to become infinite. It says you are trying to solve a problem where there is no problem to solve with. Say, how do you say the problem is? Because you are identifying the limitations of the body, mind, intellect as your limitations. Then what am I then? So this is where I need to go to Tadvijnanartham Sagurumeva Avigachet. For that only I had to go and approach a teacher. So I want to know myself. What is the point in going to the teacher? Does he know myself? Even if he knows himself, how does it help me? He may know himself, but I want to know myself, not himself, not himself. Unless the teacher knows that the self that I am is the self in all. If he has the knowledge of not only his self, also should know that the self that he knows is the self in everything. And then going to a teacher, knowing about his self or myself is the same thing. That knowledge will help me. Help me in what? In not taking I am this. In recognizing I am. So what is that I am and how does it solve a problem? Unless that I am is already full, already complete. There is nothing more I want. That means I am infinite. So if I am already infinite, then problem is solved. Remember, I don't become infinite. No one can become infinite. Therefore, even if I don't know that who I am, and taking myself what I am not as I am, I should know, or the teacher has to teach me that knowledge by which I can know that I am complete and full. I am infinite by nature. How can he teach? Infinite cannot be taught. Only finite things he can bear. He can talk chemistry, he can talk biology, because biology is different from chemistry, chemistry is different from physics. So each one is a finite. But how can you know, how can you teach about Brahman? Brahman means infinite. Brahman means the word itself is infinite, limitless. So scripture says and the teacher says, you cannot know Brahman. Sir, I want to know, please teach me. You cannot know. You cannot know yourself also. I want to know myself. You cannot know. I want to know Brahman. You cannot know. Sir, how do you solve this problem? I want to know myself because I don't know myself and I am taking what I am not as myself. But you say I cannot know myself, nor I cannot know Brahman also. So what's the point in going to a teacher? Going to a teacher, he has to tell me that how to know myself which cannot be known directly. It can be known only if I prepare my mind, and redirect my mind in the direction pointed out, and the very pointing out in the direction, I as though leave the mind, using the mind, leave the mind and see in the direction and recognize myself. That's what essentially teaching. Teacher cannot take you there. No one can take you there. It's infinite. At the same time, I need to go to a teacher. Why do I need a teacher? For any knowledge, you have to, because I don't know, I need a knowledge about myself. For any knowledge, I need to have a means of knowledge, a pramana. And for that, I need a teacher, because I have already opinion about myself, and the very opinion about myself, which are wrong opinion about myself, inhibit my knowing myself. That's the problem. I feel I am the first number one, I am mortal. That means I am born such and I am going to die, because I don't see anybody living more than some time. And everybody is dying. Whatever is born is, just now you said, Jatasya dhruvo mrityu, whatever is born has to die. Since I am born, I am going to die. So I am space-wise, time-wise limited. So I am a mortal, and I am also unhappy because I am only limited. I don't like the limitations. So happiness is to get more and more. So because I am unhappy as I am, and also I am lack of knowledge, I am a ajnani, I want to know. Whether I don't know chemistry, I don't know physics, whatever I know, I want to be knowledgeable person. The interesting point is, any objective science, you may have PhDs and PhDs and PhDs. Any object, the more I know, the more ignorant I become. That's the nature of the objective knowledge. What do you mean? How can that be? Because in any field, the more I know, the more I discover there are a lot more things I did not know before. Therefore, it is opening up more and more. In any field, I am becoming a super specialist of narrower field. How am I going to know the whole? Even in one area, I cannot know. So how am I going to know everything? So any objective sciences make you more ignorant only. Then how am I going to know? Brahman means infinite. I want to know everything. That knowledge has to be learned, therefore, through a proper means which cannot be known otherwise. So for that, I need to prepare my mind in order to know what is the truth. For that, I had to go to a teacher. And who is the right teacher? There are so many teachers. Everybody announces, he is a great rishi, he is a self-realized and all blah blah blah. So who is my teacher? He says, Sotriyaha Brahmanishta. Number one qualification, scripture says he should be knowing the Shastra. What Shastra? Vedanta Shastra. So Vedanta is the science of that which cannot be known otherwise, a pramana. So how can it teach something? It points in the direction for you properly. It prepares the mind and asks you to look, called Lakshyartha. A pointing in the direction for me to see properly. So it uses the words of that which beyond the words, but in the hands of the teacher, depending upon the student, he will direct the mind to look at in the direction for you to recognize yourself. So therefore, I need a teacher who has learned this technique and knows the pitfalls in the process. So how does he know? He himself studied the scriptures under another competent teacher for a prolonged length of time until the knowledge is crystal clear. That is what a teacher guru is. Guru is Shastriyaha. And himself established in the knowledge that I am Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. So how am I going to know whether he knows Aham Brahmasmi or not? I cannot know that. There is no way I can test this man is realized, that man is realized, this man is realized. So if somebody says this person is realized person, so follow him. Don't follow that. Because no one can testify somebody else has realized. And a realized person will not testify himself that I have realized. Someone asked me, have you realized? So what should I say? Should I say or should I not say? A teacher was told, never answer such kind of questions because it's an invalid question. Why is invalid? Because if I say I am realized, I say I don't think so, then why do you ask? If you don't think so, if you have an opinion about it, then why ask me? No, I think you are realized, then that's okay, that's your opinion. So therefore, if it depends upon your mental attitude about mine, there is no more because it is my knowledge, I cannot say to you, since you cannot prove or disprove my statement. So best thing is when I approach a teacher and once who is a Sotriyam and I am learning it, recognize that he is the guru who has realized, therefore I can gain the knowledge. I have a faith in the teacher, and the teacher is the one who directs the disciple to the scripture as a pramana. Means don't take my experience as a pramana. I have seen the light, then you are not the teacher because it's not a light. It may be described like a light. There is no blue light, yellow light and all that. Because light I can see, whatever I see cannot be Brahman. Brahman is infinite. So therefore it's neither an experience nor it is something that we can see or touch. It is something of your own self that you cannot see. Because you are there in every self. For that, I need to prepare my mind properly in order to recognize myself or recognize the Brahman. So in the next step, we'll ask what are the requirements in order to gain and to succeed in the life. This becomes a highest success called Kritak Krutyaha. He has accomplished what needs to be accomplished. Anybody else is not. He may be billionaire, multimillionaire, power, everything. He has not accomplished what needs to be accomplished unless this is accomplished. If this is accomplished, everything else is accomplished. We'll do that, analyze that. So next talk will be how to prepare the mind and proceed in the direction. With that, we'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Sishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.